I'm Bob Beckel. I'm proud to be a liberal. I believe that health care is a right, not a privilege.
Hi, I'm Cal Thomas, a conservative who is pro-life. And this is Common Ground. Welcome again to Common Ground, a video version of Bob Beckel's and my bi-weekly USA Today column in which we try to figure out how to bridge Washington's partisan divide. Well, Bob, in the words of Ronald Reagan, here we go again over Israel, the Palestinians, and this poorly managed, I think we agree, Israeli commando attack on that flotilla. But I maintain that Israel has a legal right, as the United States had a legal right during the Cuban Missile Crisis, to have a blockade in order to keep weapons from coming into Gaza that have been used in the past by Hamas and I believe would be used again to attack Israeli civilians.
I don't think there's any question about the legality of it. The question I've got is the perception of it. I mean, look, I don't know how you could possibly do something that would have put you in a worse standing in the worldview than what Israel did on this flotilla. Now, I understand why Israel needs to defend herself and not allow weapons in there, but it seems to me you don't have to go in and board a ship and get into a fight and get 9 people killed. I mean, it's the last thing Israel needs. I'm looking at this from Israel's standpoint. Now, also, people in the United States might wonder, well, why do we spend a lot of time thinking about what's going on in Israel and a blockade like that? Well, because Israel and the United States are completely linked at the hip on their foreign policy in that region. And so the United States and Israel will go hand in hand down the road. The question is, will Israel make it a little easier on us?
Well, it's a good point you make about being linked and joined hand in hand and at the hip. I think the reason for that is that we're fighting a common enemy. It's not just the Palestinians, and it's not just that region of the world. We have people who have declared war, not only on Israel, but against all things Western, against anybody they consider infidels, including members of their own religion who don't toe the line the way they think it ought to be towed. And I think that's the great danger here. If we think that we can sit down with people who think you're an infidel and deserving of death and somehow negotiate like we would, say, with the Russians, for example, I think we're fooling ourselves.
Yeah, but listen, let's take a look at Gaza for a second. Gaza is 20 miles long,
I know, I've
5
been there.
or 6 miles wide. It's got 1.5 million people in that small area. You talk about a place to breed terrorists in the camps there. It's all over the place. And these kids who don't get a square meal a day, then all of a sudden they're told they can get 3 square meals a day, have a gun, and they're going to be able to kill Jews, and they're going to be able to go to heaven and have a bunch of virgins. Now, that's a pretty good incentive given what the alternative is. But the other thing I'd say is I'm not so sure that everybody in the Middle East, every Arab, every Muslim is committed to the demise of Israel. I don't believe that. I think that they haven't stepped forward enough yet. But there are a number of people who are beginning to make some movement, including, by the way, the supreme religious authority in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see that?
I did.
They denounced all of this kind of terrorist activity.
Well, we'll see who embraces that, though. Will Osama bin Laden embrace it? Will Zawahiri? We'll see. I mean, it's one thing to make a statement. It's another to follow up. And they're still teaching the hate of all things Jewish, Christian, non-believers in the Palestinian schools. But look, let's talk about Gaza a minute, since that's what the flotilla was trying to break. I've been to Gaza. You're right, it is a terrible place. But when Israel pulled out unilaterally, which I opposed in the first place, they left behind an agricultural infrastructure, not only flora and fauna, food that could have been grown, but utensils and farming implements. The problem is with Hamas is not interested in farming food, they're interested in farming terrorists. If you read the sermons from the mosques that come from all over that region, as I do every week, if you read the media, kill the Jews are responsible for AIDS, the Jews are related to monkeys and pigs, this is insightful language. This is hate language. If it were done in America, it'd be called hate speech. You could be brought up on charges in some countries of the world. But this is the regular fare that they teach their people, and they teach that Israel is an illegal occupier, and they want all of the land, not just part of it, and that's what we face.
No, I understand that. But look, let's also take a look at who was the principal supporter of this aid flotilla. It was Turkey.
Yes.
And in fact, the aid flotilla left from Turkey to get to Gaza. Turkey has been the strongest, member of NATO, by the way, the strongest Muslim country in support of Israel in the region. It has been the one place where you could go to get both sides a hearing. And in recent months, even before this, the Turks were beginning to drift, I thought, dangerously towards the Muslims in their policy positions. And with this, I think it gives them every reason in the world to keep going. We can't have a serious Middle East peace negotiation between Israel and the Palestinians in a two-state solution without Turkey and most other people signing on.
Well, I think Turkey was headed in the direction of the extremists anyway before this, but I'll grant you that this has probably advanced it a little bit. Here's a bulletin, though, for you, Bob. I don't think there's going to be a two-state solution. They want a one-state solution, they being the Palestinian side. Mahmoud Abbas comes and meets with President Obama, just as he met with President Bush and other presidents. They say one thing to the West, they turn around and in Arabic say something totally different to their own people. If you read those Arabic comments in translation, you see what they really think. All of the land, not just part of the land. You look at the maps of Palestine, it doesn't include Israel from the Palestinian perspective. That's what we're faced. It's not a two-state solution, it's a two-faced solution.
Well, I tell you, though, if that's true, then we have very, very little hope of ending this, what is now a 50, 60-year war that's gone on there. But I hope that they do. I think there are enough moderate voices. People are getting tired of war, and maybe we can get a breakthrough if the United States will do something about it. But look, check out our column in the paper and on USA Today's opinion blog at usatoday.com. Thanks for tuning in, and come back again for the next installment of Common Ground.